Yes, YouTube, what is good? Welcome back to the channel. So today in this video, I'm going to be talking about 3 books that I'm currently reading in order to boost my self-development. So let's get straight into it. The first book I want to talk about is a book called The Introverted Leader. So this was actually a book that I purchased quite a few years ago, but it's still something that I refer to till today. And the main reason that I purchased this book was to learn how to step out beyond myself and learn how to step out beyond my comfort zone. This is in order to develop my leadership skills and my leadership qualities. Now, I don't only wish to develop these leadership skills and qualities for a professional role or in a professional capacity, but I'm of the belief that, leadership skills have much more wider applicability to life in general. And I feel that once you develop good leadership skills, you're able to not only get the best out of yourself, but get the best out of any given scenario that comes your way. And this book in particular, it focuses on a concept known as the 4 Ps. So these are preparation, presence, push, and practice. Now this book regularly refers to these 4 Ps or these 4 topics. And the way it does this is giving you scenarios as to where you can apply these 4 Ps. And the thing I like about this book is that it doesn't only give you examples, but it goes in deeper to how you can actually apply these 4 Ps in a scenario in order to develop your leadership skills. So this is a book that, like I said, I regularly refer to, and I'm still regularly reading, and I'm still trying to push forward and developing. And I think it's a very, very good tool, and I would recommend it. This book that I want to talk about is a book called Buy to Let Loose. So this is a book which I had my eye on to purchase a few years ago, but I never got around to doing it. I've purchased it quite recently. So this book actually details the author's experience in terms of how she was able to get into a corporate role and use the money that she was earning in a corporate role to invest it in property. And this took her to the point where she was able to reach a certain level of properties, and she was able to actually leave her corporate role, her corporate job behind, and actually live off the income that these properties are generating. The main thing I like about this book is very good at going into detail in terms of facts and figures, in terms of how much money she needed to put down on properties, how much she needed to refurb the property, what she actually did on her weekends in terms of looking for new areas to invest in and seeing whether they would be profitable or not. It goes into detail as well in terms of her looking at her mortgage applications, how much money she needed to put into the property, how she did her calculation to see whether or not she would get anything out of them. What I also like as well is that it's not always positive, and it does touch upon the negative parts as well. And she does sort of have a plan in place in terms of what she would do if, like we are in a situation now where the interest rates are rising, and obviously that means that her profits are decreasing if she's not able to actually increase the rent that she's charging on some of these properties. So I think it's a very good book, and it's one that I'm going to be referring to and reading quite regularly. The third book I want to talk about is a book called Inside the Gas Chamber. So this was a book that was written by the author to basically detail and outline his experience during World War II and actually having to live inside a Nazi concentration camp. So it details his experience from living a normal life to having to go and live in these concentration camps over a number of years. And it details his experience in terms of how he lived, how he ate, how he interacted with people. And I think the main takeaway from this book was the fact that what he had to do to survive in terms of a job and how that affected him, not only at the time when he was going through it, but for the long term. The main reason I read books like these and historical books like these is to kind of give me perspective and just give me an understanding of other people's experiences, because sometimes we can get bogged down in what's going on in our lives, but sometimes you need to realize situations like this, they're unlikely to happen to, you or I in our lifetime. So, that serves as even more reason why you should kind of push forward against any adversity that you're facing and just go out there and get what you actually want to get out of your life. one real takeaway from this book is the fact that the author wasn't able to communicate any of his experiences to any of his family members, and the main way that he did this was through this book. So this is a book that I read to kind of just give me the idea that, you know, whatever I think I'm facing, which is so bad, it's nothing compared to what this author had gone through and what countless other people. That was 3 books that I'm using for my self-development. And if you took any value from this video, then please feel free to like, comment, share and subscribe. Otherwise, I'll see you on the next video. Peace.